Hi and welcome to TTN Info channel. My name is Syed. Here I am with the latest news for 09th November 2023. Saudi products shine at Dubai Design Fair. Products reflecting the creativity and potential of industrial designers in the kingdom are being displayed at the Downtown Design Fair in Dubai under a Design in Saudi label. Saudi Arabia's Architecture and Design Commission is taking part in the fair, which is being held from November 8 to 11. Each product featured in the Commission's pavilion underwent a thorough evaluation by a panel of international and local experts before being awarded the Design in Saudi brand. OIC chief discussed Women's Empowerment Islamic Solidarity in Jeddah meeting. Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Hassan Brahim Taha met a number of Muslim women leaders on the sidelines of the International Conference on Women in Islam, the Conference of Status and Empowerment held in Jeddah. The 3D forum organized by the OIC under the patronage of King Salman concluded on Wednesday. It aimed to shed light on the success of Muslim women, highlights their role and contribution to development, and counter the negative propaganda that portrayed Islamic religion as an obstacle to women obtaining their rights. Sudan Army and RSF commit to facilitating humanitarian aid in Jeddah talk. The warring Sudanese Army and Rapid Support Force have committed to helping humanitarian aid deliveries and implementing confidence-building measures. The announcement was made on Tuesday in a joint statement by Saudi Arabia, the US, and the Regional African Bloc Intergovernmental Authority on Development following the start of a new round of talk between the rival Sudanese parties in Jeddah. Somalia floods killed 29 and displaced 300,000 people. Flash flooding in southwestern Somalia has claimed the lives of more than 24 people and displaced hundreds of thousands from their homes, an official said, as El Nino downpours last East Africa. Since the beginning of the month, ferocious rainstorms have hit Somalia and its neighbors Kenya and Ethiopia, triggering landslide and submerged villages and farms. The flooding come after Somalia and parts of Ethiopia and Kenya suffered the region's worst drought in 4 decades. Belgium wants sanctions against Israel for Gaza bombing. Belgium's Deputy Prime Minister called on the Belgian government on Wednesday to adopt sanctions against Israel and investigate the bombing of hospital and refugee camps in Gaza. It is time for sanctions against Israel. The rain of bombs is inhuman, Deputy Prime Minister Petra told Newsblad newspaper. It is clear that Israel does not care about the international demands for a ceasefire, she said. Indonesian VP hails new era in relations with Saudi Arabia. Indonesian Vice President Maruf Amin is welcoming a new era in Saudi-Indonesia relations and will encourage the country's private sector to look into opportunities related to Kingdom's Vision 2030, his spokesperson told Arab News on Wednesday. British Muslim MP facing torrent of Islamophobic abuse, serious death threats. A British Muslim MP for the UK's main opposition Labour Party has told Parliament that she has received serious death threats, the Independent reported. Afsana Begum also said members of the public had threatened to rip off her hijab and criticized the Conservative government for inaction on Islamophobia. G7 nations announced a unified stance on Israel-Hamas war after intensive meetings in Tokyo. G7 foreign ministers on Wednesday called for a humanitarian pause in the Israel-Hamas war to allow in aid and help the release of hostages and sought a return to a broader peace process as Israeli forces continue to strike the Gaza Strip. Winding up a two-day meeting in Tokyo, the group of 7 wealthy nations said in a joint statement that Israel had a right to defend itself while underscoring the need to protect civilians and to comply with international humanitarian law. Canadian poet Rupi Kaur has turned down the invitation to attend the Diwali celebration at the White House. According to Arab News, the Canadian poet recorded her protest against the response of the Biden administration about Israel attack on Gaza and declined the invitation. Rupi Kaur wrote on Instagram that she will not accept any invitation from an organization that supports mass punishment of civilians. The Indian-born Canadian poet wrote in her post that the Biden administration not only fund the bombing of Gaza but also continues to justify the genocide of Palestinians and now wants us to celebrate Diwali with them. Agreement with Saudi Arabia is expected by December, says Prime Minister of Pakistan. Pakistan caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Kakar says that he hopes that the agreement between the government of Pakistan and Saudi Arabia to buy the shares of Recordec will be concluded by December this year. This is the first time the government has officially confirmed that it's considering selling government shares in Recordec. Caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Kakar confirmed in a detailed interview with Arab News on Monday that talks are underway with Saudi Arabia to buy shares in Recordec. Anwarul Kakar says that they are hopeful that the agreement will be reached by December. After the statements of the Afghan authorities, the incident of terrorism are meaningful. Pakistan caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Kakar has said the terrorists used the territory of Afghanistan to carry out attacks in Pakistan, but no concrete steps have been taken by the interim government of Afghanistan. While holding a press conference in Islamabad on Wednesday, he said that the statement made by the Afghan leader are threatening, unnecessary and regrettable. After that, the rise in terrorist incident in Pakistan is meaningful and it also confirmed Pakistan's concern. It should be noted that the last week, the interim Prime Minister of Afghanistan, Mullah Hassan Akhund, demanded from Pakistan not to humiliate the Afghans and give them time to return so that they can return to their country with dignity. Bangladesh garment workers reject 56% pay rise. Bangladesh raised the minimum monthly pay for the country's 4 million garment workers by 56.25% on Tuesday, a decision immediately rejected by unions seeking a near tripling of the figure. The South Asian country 3,500 garment factory account for around 85% of its $55 billion in annual export, supplying many of the world's top fashion names including Levi's, Zara and H&M. India and Malaysia looking at reviewing 2011 trade pact, says Malaysian Foreign Minister Kadir. India and Malaysia are forming up a framework for conducting trade in national currencies and initiating a process to review the 12-year-old Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement to include new domain and items, from Malaysian Foreign Minister Zamri Abdul Qadir said. At the end of 3-day visit to India, Mr. Qadir told PTI that both sides are keen to expand trade engagement in new and emerging areas such as electronics, semiconductors, fintech, renewable energy and new technology startups. Adani Sri Lanka Port Terminal project to get funding from US government. The US International Development Finance Corporation has announced a $553 million investment in the Adani Port Light Container Terminal project in Colombo, less than a year after American financial research from Hindenburg accused the Adani Group of pulling the largest con in corporate history. Addressing a media conference in Colombo on Wednesday, the DEFC Chief Executive Support Scott Nathan said a corporation seeks to drive private sector investment that advance development and economic growth while strengthening the strategic position of our partners. The DFC has pledged $1 billion to Sri Lanka, the second highest in the region following India. The investment in new terminal is aimed to catering to growing economic in the region by taking advantage of Sri Lanka's prime location along major shipping routes, according to American officials. American President Joe Biden to host Indonesian President Joko Widodo at the White House November 13. President Joe Biden will host Joko Widodo, the President of Indonesia, for a meeting at the White House on November 13. The two leaders will discuss, among other issues, continuing the clean energy transition, advancing economic property, and promoting peace and stability in the region, the White House said on November 7. Kerala moves Supreme Court against Governor for the second time in 2 weeks. Kerala on November 8 moved the Supreme Court for the second time against Governor Arif Muhammad Khan, accusing him of trying to defeat the rights of the people of the state by indefinitely sitting on crucial bills, especially those addressing post-COVID public health concern. The state, represented by Advocate C.K. Sasi, said the arbitrary shows the lack of urgency by the governor violates the fundamental right to life of the people of Kerala. Delhi High Court seeks centre and state stand on PL to include dharma and religion in school syllabus. The Delhi High Court on Wednesday asked the centre and the state government to respond to a public interest litigation seeking a direction to the authorities to include a chapter on dharma and religion in the syllabus of primary and secondary school in order to educate the masses and control the religion-based hatred and hate speeches. In his petition, lawyer Ashwini Kumar Upadhyaya asserted that dharma is not religion, as the former is non-divisive, non-exclusive and transcends narrow boundaries of religion. NIA arrests 44 alleged human trafficking after searches across 10 states. In a major crackdown, the National Investigation Agency on Wednesday arrested 44 persons for the alleged involvement in human trafficking following searches across 10 states and union territories in close coordination with the Border Security Force and local police, while 21 accused were arrested in Tripura and 10 in Karnataka. 5 were picked up from Assam, 3 from West Bengal, 2 from Tamil Nadu and 1 each from Pondicherry, Telangana and Haryana. The operation aimed at dismantling human trafficking support networks involved in the infiltration and settlement of illegal migrants across the Indo-Bangladesh border into India, said the agency. Pakistan caretaker Prime Minister Kakkar expresses satisfaction at growing bilateral cooperation with Uzbekistan. Caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Kakkar on Wednesday expressed satisfaction on the growing level of bilateral cooperation with the Uzbekistan in a meeting with the country's president. The meeting took place on the sidelines of the 16th Summit of the Economic Cooperation Organization in Tashkent, the premier leader in Uzbekistan, earlier today for the two-day event. Fawad Chaudhry sent to jail on 14-day judicial remand in fraud case. An Islamabad District and Section Court on Wednesday sent former Federal Minister Fawad Chaudhry to jail on 14-day judicial remand in a case registered against him for allegedly taking a bribe from a citizen. The ex-PTI leader was arrested from his residence in Islamabad last week and later remanded in police custody. That's all in today's headlines. Keep watching TTN Info TV SK channel by subscribing and do hit the bell icon to receive notification and more updates.